I feel like we should really limit our bad animal testing to reptiles. We've got a ton of reptiles. No one cares about them.
What did a reptile do to you?
Yeah, right.
Would you prefer
only have
monkeys?
products that are no? If we only test on reptiles, then we only have products that are safe for reptiles. I swear to God, if Biden suggested something like that, everybody would be like, reptilian. I told you they're reptilians. No,
that would be evidence he was a reptilian. He wouldn't want us to like experiment on his brethren.
Or Woody. He's just trying to lead
both ways, right? Maybe he wants to know that his medication will work for him.
We're testing new dementia medication for snakes. It's very promising.
That's good. I still don't think he's going to run. I think we have money bet. I think you and I have a small bet of some wager of some kind. I don't. It's,
How much did you guys bet? Like $10?
Who knows and who cares?
Right.
You know,
I remember 100 was a number. I don't know if they added to 100 or if we had $200 bets. It was pretty significant.
Yeah, whatever it is, you know, somebody will let us know when the time comes. But
who do you think would get the primary?
Gavin Newsom.
Oh, so I don't even know what the.
If I recall correctly, Kyle had Trump and I had everybody that wasn't Trump, and then I think there was another bet about who would win the general. And I had
the Democratic primary? Is that what you're talking about, or what?
No. We're talking about on the Republican primary. Kyle had Trump, and I had
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then okay. So Zach is going from his memory, so it could be off. He thinks it's $100 for Trump to get the nomination, and then we have another $50 on the general. That's not how I remember it, but you know, I'm known for my great memory.
Again, whatever it is, it's on record. But what I would say is
record we will not check.
A record that we'll be notified about.
That's for the comment section to figure out. We're better than them.
Comment a much larger amount than they actually bet.
There you go.
Yes. Depending on the outcome, of course.
Of course.
But I don't think that Biden is going to be the guy that you vote for. I don't think he is going to be the guy campaigning when it's game time. I don't know what the protocol is for when you have an incumbent president who bows out. That's never been done before, as far as I know. Maybe somebody got shot in 1897,
right.
and I forgot.
Coolidge, I believe he stepped down after one term.
Fair. If we're talking about Coolidge, then it's shenanigans anyway. We're in this crazy modern era where anything's possible. USADA era. The USADA era of American politics. So I think that anything could happen. I don't know what the protocol is for Biden to say, after consulting with my doctors, my family, and Mr. Epstein. Shut up! You just had to get through the night, Joe. I've decided to.
My friend Jeffrey used to go to his island and have the best time.
and leave the. But maybe he says something like, "I'm no kingmaker. I can't tell you who." But Kamala is going to join the hunt for the presidency, the Democratic primary. Even though you just narrowed it down to 2 people, she's joining it now. And she skipped that whole interim part where you expose people and find out and do your hunting and research. Forget all that. Here we go. Final 4 time, final 3 or whatever. And Kamala's going in, and this will happen and that'll happen. Blah 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 blah. And Kamala will go. And I'm not saying it's Kamala. I'm just right. For example, a name. I don't know who it would be. Kamala would be a disaster. Donald Trump
it's
Kamala Harris.
By the way,
that's up for debate.
It's not though. It's Kamala.
What am I saying that's different than Kamala? Is incorrect?
Yeah, it's like comma.
Isn't this like caramel and caramel?
No,
I think it is like.
You know why it matters? For some reason.
Similar.
Don't let him tell you different.
The Republican pundits mispronounced her name as like an intentional disrespect for like a year, and people are like, "It's Kamala." Like Tucker Carlson got called out on it famously. They're like, "This is your job. You do this every day for a living. You get paid tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars for this. You know her name, but you're intentionally mispronouncing it. Why? Why are you doing that?"
It seems I didn't know.
It was a point of contention.
Yeah, you're not. I didn't mean to suggest you.
I think she's a fucking.
Kamala
dope.
Sounds better.
But you're telling me that she wants us to hit that Kamala.
Well, I don't know. Believe versus believe. Like you put the accent on the wrong one. It's
Kamala. Kamala.
The emphasis, I meant to say, the emphasis is on the like Kamala. Anyway, Kamala.
I genuinely still don't know how to say it, but I will.
It is a made up name as far as I know.
VP Harris.
Sure,
there you go.
all names are made up, Woody.
Well, no, yours has a precedent.
I call her KH. We're tight.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting. Both presidential candidates kind of have a thing hanging over their head. With Biden, it's like, is he going to live? Is he going to bow out? Like, what's going to happen with this age thing? With Trump, that exists too. He did just say that he beat Obama and Biden's going to lead us into World War II. But he also has the prison thing.
No.
So
Biden's mastered time travel and he's taking us back to World War II.
There was Trump who said that. Yeah.
Trump.
So
I would love that. That'd
clips
be great.
of Trump golfing.
Yeah.
I've seen golf. I've seen Trump golf poorly and well. I've seen both. And but who are those guys that do like the back off like challenge thing at the tee?
I don't know, but I know of them.
What is that?
So but, you know, they crack the funniest fucking on the spot riffing jokes on. They're like, this guy looks like he doesn't pay his child support.
Yeah. During golf.
Like this guy's a professional at cheating on his wife, wet hair and everything. Look at those socks. like as they're teeing off. And like I saw him giving Trump some, and it was great. They're like, what did he say? Oh, that drive's shorter than your second presidency. just some good stuff. How long's Joe been seen now? Long time. And he's fucking teeing it up over there. And like half the time it's like, all right, fucking late. You know, they do the thing where they draw the red line because I can't see the fucking ball.
That is helpful.
It's supposed to go anyway. I don't care where that fucking little ball goes, but he hit it in the straight line and it went there. And then another time they're like, fuck you, shanked it. Oh, go Brandon or whatever. Like, I don't know.
I've definitely seen clips of Trump golfing where I was like, that's better than I thought he would be at golf. And then I remind myself like tons of old people are incredible at golf.
Yeah,
like he's not good enough to go play in the old person tour, the senior
Donald
tour.
Trump has the advantage of having probably played more rounds of golf than most people who aren't professional golfers, and having being able to have probably played with some pros and gotten professional advice. I bet he's had good trainers and stuff. Although I imagine with a narcissist like that who actually believes the smell of his own shit and everything, it's probably hard to hire a pro because immediately he's got that Steven Seagal thing where he's like, oh yeah, I'm a master as well. Actually, let me show you something on your grip.
Oh, really? I would go the other way. That like if I was doing something like that with a pro, I feel like it would open me up to be like, well, I'm no professional like you. I miffed that one.
Not someone like them though. Like
I guess I'm about similar to him.
This guy was talking about he's a stunt coordinator / actor because sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you look tough. You stand in the background. You're henchman number 3. He's that kind of actor, and he's on the Steven Seagal thing, and they're like, Sensei Seagal will be here in a minute. Here's the thing. Even if he asks you, do not tell him you have any martial arts training. He will challenge you. He will challenge you. And it's like, that guy is such a piece of shit. And sure enough, like when he talked to him, like I think he bowed to Seagal in a way that Seagal like, you train martial arts?
He smelled it.
Yes, Sensei, I'm a fucking third degree Yokotan at fucking blah, blah, blah. You know what? I was supposed to beat this guy up today, but no, I like you. No fight today. Move the cameras over there, lighting up here like this. I'm just going to, I don't know, pull out a knife and stab him. He's just like, that's Steven Seagal. He decided that like my key wasn't right or my energy was off, and he didn't want to fight me that day because I was a nice guy. But then you also hear that he actually beats up those stuntmen. And if you watch some of his shittier movies, it's like he hit that guy in the face. You just punched stuntman number 8 in the ear, you son of a bitch. Like he's actually hitting and kicking these people. That's why his kicks and punches do look good. And his fights can look actually violent because he's yanking their joints and fucking twisting their fingers backwards like it's middle school and shit. Hard as fuck.
Trump is a better golfer than I thought he was. According to sportingnews.com, he's a 2.8 handicap.
Dude,
which means
come on.
I don't know. See, I have a hard time getting past my own bias, right? But he does shit like this. Now listen, he'll hold a golf tournament. The tournament runs like Saturday, Sunday. And then he will claim the win and say on Friday, before you guys got here, when nobody was watching, I got a better score than all of you. I'm counting it as a win for me. That's serious horseshit.
That sounds
I don't
more
think
like
that's what
tax
they're
evasion or something. Like
looking
maybe he's
at
filtering
here.
the prize money to himself or something. Like everybody who's there knows that Trump always wins the
He
Trump
just
Open.
recently posted a score. We talked about it on this show or PKN,
Kim Jong-un,
where
like-
his score was like it was the same or better than the score for the winning PGA tournament
PGA.
there.
But
And,
see, like,
Although
this is
perhaps
like
the
a-
course is different.
This is a
I
good.
know.
This is like a
I
really
don't
good
either.
handicap, but this isn't like a scratch golfer. Like he's not claiming like he's that elite at it. Like
What's his
like if you
handicap?
went
I'm
and
sorry.
competed 2.8, it says, which is like
does that mean you're giving him 2.8 on the round of 9 or round of 18?
It means
or
an 18
per shot.
he'll be
on a round.
2.8 above par.
That's
Yeah.
insanely good, right?
It's
that's very,
good.
very good.
It's not
But,
like PGA level, but for anyone
Yeah.
casual, that's great.
if you're like a casual golfer, that's excellent. But like if he went out there with pros and like the senior tour, he'd get smacked.
Yeah, PGAs are always in the negative. The top, 50 places are or whatever. But like,
I think that's what they asked Kramer what his handicap was, and he's 2 over par. That's what the pros shoot, right? If you're lucky.
Like my dad would beat Trump very easily in golf. Now
Would
he's
he?
got, yeah, my dad golfs all the time. He's like a scratch golfer. He's very, very good.
Okay.
He's like one of those people, like when I golf with him, I'm like kind of annoyed. Like the sound the ball makes when he hits it with the driver is like, it's like a video game.
Can I ask you a question? Do you always play on the course that he plays when you visit your dad?
No, he'll play on any course that's close enough to play on. Like he just
that would be
loves
the
golf.
thing, right?
He plays a lot.
Like
What's your
if
handicap?
I were
Mine would be unbelievably high. I'm not good.
Like 11, 14?
25,
Give me, like, if I'm playing 9 holes, give me an extra 12 shots or something.
yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying.
I'm one of those golfers
25
that
seems
like
fair.
like with irons, I feel like I can mostly get it to go pretty straight.
Mhm.
But then putting is just an exercise in futility. And people will like, I'll watch someone else putt and they'll be like, hey, Taylor, watch me. Like my friends play more golf than me. They'll be like, hey, watch me. And then you can see how the green lies and like how fast it is and everything. I'll be like, okay. And like, I'll watch it and they'll be like, this is slow as mud. And I'm like, is it? Like, is this a slow one? Or they'll be like, oh, there's a big break right here. Aim for this area. And like, my dad will help me with stuff like that. And he'll like hold his club in between me and the pin. And he'll be like, don't aim for the pin. Aim for my club right here. Like hit it with like medium power towards my club right here.
Read.
And he'll do the read for me and make me feel like I'm better at it. I'm still not sinking long
I
putts.
might be better than your father.
At golf? I doubt
I've never played, so there's no telling how good I am.
There's no way to know. You could be an absolute natural. You could be 200 par on the first hit. There's such a chasm of how difficult you feel golf should be and how hard it is.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you watch someone who's good at it and you're like, I could do that. No, you can't.
What, you hit a ball with a stick? Cool. Good for you. Yeah.
I don't know how to know which club to use. I always have to ask my younger brother or someone because they'll be like, what, how far do you know where to go? Like, oh, this is a 9-iron shot. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I like the idea.
Turns out the 9-iron sent it right into the woods, dickhead. Good call, moron.
Idiot. I thought you played golf.
A 7-iron would have been straight as an arrow. It's fun.
I bet you're
More
due
fun.
for like beginner gains because I know you kind of got into golf recently. I bet 2024 Taylor's twice as good.
Definitely. I couldn't. I if I start getting worse, I'm going to quit.
That's
And I'm
fair.
all like,
2024 Taylor won't be worse.
I take plenty of mulligans, like off the tee box. That's a bad one. Do it again. That's a bad one. Do it again. But yeah, it's
Is
fun.
there like a number of mulligans per game that people like kind of comment? Like, do people like, hey,
we got him? Left and right will say that sort of shit about whoever the fuck they don't like. And then the news media is so willing to eat that bullshit because it sells every time. They're like, oh, press conference, Senator fucking Hatch has got him. So we're going to all, and then, so I I feel like the guy who's not impressed with the 8th version of swine flu this year. Every time they come forward, it's like, no, I've heard this before. You've always got them. You had aliens last week. You had a fucking senator. You had the president's son the week before that. You got Trump every week for the last 10 years. It feels like you've had him, but this time there's so much Trump stuff piling up. Like it just feels like he's going to go to jail.
It seems there's 4 cases. I don't know if I can rattle them off the top of my head. There's the New York one, the Stormy Daniels thing, where basically, all right. So even if he loses that, I don't think there's much of a punishment, especially because he's Trump, right? You know, you got to be careful about locking.
It's the document stuff.
Not just that. The documents thing, he's got a lot of problems there. One, he's guilty. He's just really guilty. The documents are there. He said they weren't. He just held on to it. And he's done all these press conferences where he kind of admitted to having them and said, I'm allowed to have them. It's like murder's okay for me, but it's not. And so he's kind of admitted to it. And then they have text messages and there's some dicey stuff like coded messages. Like there's a woman that worked for him who's kind of flipped on him and talked about the things he would say. So he would give codes like, hey, Kyle, you don't know anything about those boxes, right? Now, what I'm telling you is I need you to behave like you don't know the contents of those boxes, even though she totally fucking does. And we'll see what the jury thinks of his, his sort of easily decipherable code.
Oh, but I see. So what do you think though? Like what do you... We'll look at one more case. There's the Georgia thing where a couple people seem to be flipping on him already. One guy's Lynn Wood. He was like an attorney that got disbarred for his actions. Well, he was going to get disbarred, so he retired right before they were going to, he kind of voluntarily disbarred himself. And he appears to have flipped on Trump. And then there's Mark Meadows, who appears to have testified again. And it looks like he's going to lose both those cases. So my question is, are we really going to punish him for breaking the law? That's not, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he just got away with it. If they're like, all right, guilty of fucking 91 felony charges. Suspended sentence.
Suspended sentence. You know what? Home arrest until Friday or something like that. That's my question. I don't know. Really, even the people on his side aren't claiming he's innocent. They're claiming that an ex-president should be able to do it. Like, it's Banana Republic stuff to prosecute him for his crimes. Mm-hmm. But they're not claiming he's innocent. They're just claiming that we should look the other way.
They're saying, let it go.
Okay, yeah.
That's my whole point. It's like, yeah, he did it. Let it go. Just let it go. Let him run, because that's the best thing you can do for the country is just to let him run. Because he's going to run either way. And if you try to stop him, it seems like it could get messy.
That trying to stop is interesting too, because in Colorado, they're trying to determine whether or not he should be on the ballot. So it turns out after the Civil War, they did this thing where like, hey, look, if you try to overthrow the government, then you can't run for government anymore. And there's an argument that that's what Trump is all about. So depending on how Colorado decides this, there might be a handful of other states that decide that he can't be on the ballot there too. And that hurts his chances.
Speaking of Colorado, I'm sure you saw the video of Lauren Boebert getting like felt up and like jerking her date off through his pants.